Yes, welcome once again, everyone. Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's May 7th, 2019. The show, as always, is presented by the Marijuana Times. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab there to find this show. A bunch of great articles there as well from a lot of great writers covering the cannabis community, industry, and beyond. marijuanatimes.org. Go check it out today. We're talking about Illinois and legalizing adult use marijuana. Things are moving very quickly there. A couple stories about that. Also, a big vote in Texas regarding medical marijuana. We'll cover that as well. First, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Grow safe and poison-free. Don't use harmful chemicals on what you're growing. Don't use banned pesticides either. Do all of these amazing things with Natureside, nature-side.com. Go check them out. Side is spelled CIDE. They are a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Before we get to the big stories, the big giveaway going on over at Instagram. Check out our Instagram at Marijuana Times X. If you don't follow us yet, find this enter to win image. You see it, of course, if you're watching the video version of the show. If you're listening to the audio version on Apple Podcasts, it says enter to win. It shows some of the swag that you can win, including the Make Cannabis Great Again hat that you see me wear a lot. Simply find that image at Marijuana Times X on Instagram. Follow the rules, the instructions that are laid out there to get your entries for your chance to win May 13th. The contest ends at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So, excuse me, go check it out. Go win. Be a winner. I'm trying to give a pep talk, but I don't think it's coming across well. Just go do it if you want to win some of that stuff. That's all. I mean, you want to see the swag like this, MakeCannabisGreatAgain.com. If you don't want to worry about trying to win it, you just want to go buy some, well, you can do that. Many, many options. It's all good in the hood. As the kids say, or said many, many years ago. This first story by yours truly. At marijuanatimes.org, will Illinois legalize adult use marijuana this year? This is a story I worked on last week. It was published on Saturday. Basically, I got a chance to talk with Kelvin McCabe, who's a criminal defense attorney in Illinois. He's also a member of the Illinois Normal Board of Directors. Talked a lot about the background as far as legalization, what needs to be done now, what they're looking for, what some of the obstacles have been. You want to go check that story out. Of course, you can at marijuanatimes.org. It is also linked in the description of this video, as are all stories I talk about in the episode. So that story was published on Saturday. You can go check that out. As I said, gives you a little bit of background and all of that. Also on Saturday, a big announcement was made. So we go to the next story, which is from WQAD.com. Illinois governor announces plan to legalize marijuana. On Saturday, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he's reached an agreement with key lawmakers on a plan to legalize recreational marijuana in the state starting next year. The legislation would allow adults 21 and older to legally buy cannabis for recreational use from licensed dispensaries. Illinois residents could possess up to an ounce, which they say is 30 grams of marijuana. It's actually 28 grams of marijuana. So which number they'll settle on could probably end up being quite important for those carrying, 29 grams of marijuana. While non-residents could possess about a half an ounce. Well, it does say about an ounce to be fair. Doesn't say an ounce. It's about an ounce. 30 grams out of state non-residents could be 15 grams. So I imagine those are the set numbers. The measure also would automatically expunge some marijuana convictions. Pritzker was joined by fellow Democratic lawmakers in Chicago to announce the deal. This comes after years of discussion among state legislators. They said the measure will be introduced Monday, kicking off debate at the legislature where Democrats hold a majority in both chambers. So throughout, next few weeks, next couple months, we're hearing a lot about Illinois legalization. They're running out of time. Apparently June is the end of the session. So if they're going to get this done and get it moved through, they have to kind of get going on it. That's also discussed in the first story, the marijuanatimes.org story that I wrote. Check that out there, of course. Now, Texas. Now, a lot's been going on in Texas. There have been a lot of bills. We've covered some of it here, some of it in print at marijuanatimes.org. Tons of different pieces of legislation moving through various committees, a lot of hearings, a lot of testimony, a lot of stuff going on. But one of the major cornerstones of what activists like Texas NORML and Dallas-Fort Worth NORML, and another group, Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy. Been doing a lot of work at the State House in Austin. The major cornerstones of what they're trying to get done is this bill that the Texas House passed earlier this week. Texas House votes to significantly expand medical marijuana law. The Texas House gave initial passage to a bill to legalize broader use of medical marijuana. House Bill 1365 was introduced by Representative Eddie Lucio, a Democrat from Brownsville. Would expand the state's extremely narrow rules to allow doctors to prescribe low-THC cannabis to patients with cancer, autism, post-traumatic stress disorder, severe pain and nausea, muscular dystrophy, Alzheimer's, and a host of other conditions. The bipartisan passage on a 121 to 23 vote is noteworthy in a legislature that has moved significantly slower than other states on marijuana reform. Introducing the bill, Lucio said there was a, quote, voice for thousands of people in our state who are too sick to function or who live in constant, debilitating pain. As of right now, there's just low THC marijuana available for epilepsy patients. 2015, lawmakers passed the Compassionate Use Act, authored by Fort Worth Republican Representative Stephanie Click, allows the limited use of cannabis with low levels of THC for patients with intractable epilepsy who have not responded to other medication. The law has been restrictive and slow-moving, leaving out well over 1 million Texans who could benefit under HB 1365. This is according to Heather Fazio, who's the director of Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy. Meanwhile, access even for currently eligible patients is limited. Only about 50 doctors are part of the compassionate use program, along with 3 approved dispensaries, which opened last year. As you can imagine, 3 dispensaries in a state the size of Texas could mean quite a bit of travel for many people. Click filed a new bill this session, which was postponed from a scheduled vote in the House on Monday. That would offer a more limited expansion of the 2015 law. In total, about 20 bills related to medical marijuana were filed this session. 7, including HB 1365, were considered in a House subcommittee hearing last month. But related measures have not taken off in the upper chamber, where Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick last week declared a bill to reduce penalties for marijuana possession dead in the Texas Senate. So things are moving a little bit, maybe not fast enough in Texas, but that is definitely a tough nut to crack, and activists in Texas have their hands full down there. And I'll continue to cover that and more right here on Cannabis News. We're 5 days a week. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Find us on YouTube as well. Subscribe, or on Vimeo. If you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you click that little notification bell. They'll alert you when their new episode of Cannabis News has dropped. Check us out on Apple Podcasts as well. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thank you all for watching and listening today. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.